Hey, I'm Harry Mays, and I listened to Kevin Patullo's press conference yesterday, hoping to feel better today. And guess what? I don't.
I'm Jason Martinez, and even though I didn't know you before the Bucks game, I now think I like you, Keele Ringo.
Oh, on the same page as Vic Fangio. I'm Marc Farzetta. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show. And today I'm going to talk to you guys about Jalen Hurts' role in the passing game not being in rhythm. All that and more in this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
This is the Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Harry Mays, Jason Martinez, Marc Farzetta with you. And this particular episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if your $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. You're not going to beat that. Welcome into the show. The old saying goes, gentlemen, and it's the quote from Michael Jack Schmidt, the thrill of victory and the agony of reading about it the next day in the paper. That, of course, Mike Schmidt on the Phillies. Well, the Eagles are 4-0. The thrill of being undefeated 4 games into the season, one of only 2 undefeated teams so far this season, and the agony of being 4-0. Is it the bad kind of 4-0? We'll break that one down. Also, Kevin Patullo is left searching for the Eagles' identity. I'll tell you a little bit later why I'm not a big identity guy when it comes to this brand of football from the Eagles. Fangio on Ringo. Jason, to your point, Nakobe Dean's practice window, it's opened up. And then, of course, we'll talk about the Eagles' next opponent and taking on the Denver Broncos in South Philadelphia coming up on Sunday. But let's get into this 4-0 thing here, because we asked the question after week 1 against the Dallas Cowboys as to whether or not you were encouraged by the win or whether you weren't encouraged by the win. Well, now it's 3 games later. The Eagles are still undefeated, sitting here at 4-0. And although we have yet to see them play 4 quarters of complete football, really even 3 quarters of complete football, gentlemen, the Eagles have not played their best brand of football. Nothing that really reminds us of what we saw from this Eagles dominance of last year. So at 4-0, how much do they have to clean up, Harry? And at 4-0, are you encouraged by how they've played, not just the final record, but how they've played through the first 4 weeks of the season?
How they've played? No. The record, obviously, I'm encouraged by 4-0 because they've gone through a pretty difficult patch of their schedule. They've got another patch a little bit later on that we'll talk about, I'm sure, at some point. But yeah, I mean, it's just, if you could put maybe the first half of the Tampa game with the second half of the Rams game, like that's the kind of game the fan base wants to see. They want to see a start to finish, let's execute the plan, because the plan is glaringly obvious to us after we've seen the first 2 possessions that don't end in 3 and outs, and, go down, boom, matriculate down the field, maybe a big play to A.J. Brown, maybe finally the running back gets unleashed for something bigger than a 16-yard run, which is his longest through the first 4 games, which is kind of astonishing to me. And you see them just sort of take the opponent by the throat and just continue to step on them and give them a Chicago smile on the sidewalk. That's what the fan base wants to see, because you have the best team, you have the best roster, you have a returning Super Bowl roster that's pretty much intact offensively, and then defensively, that's really kind of the bright spot of the team through the first 4 weeks, is some of these young guys playing on defense, and some of the second-year guys are taking their play to the next level. Despite losing all the talent that they lost, I'm much more encouraged by what I see on defense than I am on offense. And it's really puzzling to me.
Mm-hmm. Jason, before you chime in on that, let me just give these numbers to you here, because Harry's specifically talking about the offense there. You're talking about an offense right now with the Philadelphia Eagles that is 31st in passing yards, 29th in total yards, about a middle-of-the-road team when it comes to rushing with Saquon Barkley and a Jeff Stoutland offensive line.
Yeah.
But 7th in points. How in the hell does that make any sense?
Well, I mean, they got a punt return for a touchdown last week. That was some of it. They're
blocked field goal for a touchdown.
I mean, like
Jordan Davis.
Yeah, they're doing it in different ways. It is crazy. That's a staggering stat where you could be that low in those offensive categories, yet you're putting these points on the board.
Well, you know why, though? They're a complete team.
They got great special teams.
Yeah. I've really had a moment to reflect.
Oh, boy.
Right?
Oh, really?
As you guys know, I took a little siesta at the hot tub last night to rejuvenate my mind and body. I sent you a picture. I was listening to a Reiki Tao of healing. And frankly, I don't feel that healed. I feel kind of pissed off because this expectation from this Philadelphia fan base of friggin' perfection has gotten out of control. They got to realize that there's another NFL team on the other side trying to stop you. There's another NFL team full of the 1% of the 1% trying to beat you. This notion that, this Eagles team, they only play ahead. Well, there's ebbs and flows in football games, in pro sports. There are momentum streaks gained and lost throughout a football game. And this expectation from this educated fan base is now becoming, they got to be friggin' perfect from minute 1 to the final buzzer. They need to settle down. Everybody needs to calm down the expectation of perfection. They're not perfect.
I never said perfection.
I'm not talking about you. You're educated. I'm talking about the media that are out of control. If they have a friggin' 3 and out in the third, that's right. That's the
that's a real thing.
That's the house I was sitting in last night, finding my Tao of healing. And
I was going to say,
expectation of perfection, because the teams won 20 out of 21 games, whatever it is. You people need to get your head checked, because this is pro sports. They are. You know what's perfect? 4-0. That's perfect. That's all that needs to be perfect. Calm down. Jesus, he throws it. Look, Jalen Hurts sucked in the second half. Stunk. He didn't complete a pass. They won the game. And like Farzetta just said, they're 7th in scoring. Why? It's not just because of the offense. It's because, hey, guess what? They happen to be good on special teams. Oh, what a problem that is. Oh, they have to be good on defense. They got to pick 6. Like, this need for perfection is out of control. They're 4-0. The Tao of healing.
I was just going to say, you don't sound like you're much of a towel. Like, it sounds the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, I thought you were supposed to come
paper
off
towel.
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to have like a woo-saw moment with a towel. No. You sound the most amped up out of all of us, my friend.
No, but it brought me clarity.
Oh, okay.
I hope you were wearing a towel after you got out of the hot tub.
Well, I was wearing a swimsuit, Harry.
Yeah.
Oh, is that how it goes?
But when I got into the room, we got to get towels. And you got to get the swimsuit and pack it in the centrifuge, Harry, to dry it.
Interesting.
But the centrifuge wasn't working. So I'm going to put the wet bathing suit in a bag.
So I'm going to take this, Jason, as you feel good about the 4-0, where we are right now at the 4-0, watching the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I'll take you on the positive side of it. Here's why I do find it extremely encouraging, despite the Eagles only playing 2 quarters of football at a time, okay, in every game. I find it extremely encouraging because you have played a horrible brand of football for long stretches in all 4 of these games. I mean, even going back to the Cowboys game, CeeDee Lamb comes up with a couple of catches. We're talking about a totally different game there. Obviously, they don't come up with the interception with Drew Makuba in the red zone and all that against Kansas City Chiefs. That could be a lot different. There's a lot of things you can look at, but long stretches of not being in sync, especially as an offense. So, with that being said, you're 4-0 after playing half the time in those games. That's wild to me. You're also 4-0 after the first game of the season in which you were losing essentially your best defensive player who didn't play a snap because he got kicked out in Jalen Carter before that game. So going back to that game, I even said I was encouraged then. So now 3 games later, 4-0, I'm sitting here going, hold on a second. This team is playing half a game of football per game, and they're still 4-0? And this is against the Cowboys, a division rival. This is against the Chiefs. This is against the Rams, another playoff team from last year. This is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have been the boogeyman in the closet, haunting you and under your bed for Jalen Hurts' entire career. So the other side of it is, hold on a second, you also did this against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You went into halftime with a huge lead. And then did anybody really expect Todd Bowles to just be like, well, they got me today, I'm just going to be terrible? No, he was going to make adjustments. He was going to run the fake blitzes to get Jalen Hurts to force some throws. He was going to run actual blitzes to keep Jalen Hurts guessing. And he did all that to perfection. I heard Jason Avant, I think, describe it the best after the Buccaneers game. Or no, actually, you know who it was? It was Kevin Patullo. And Kevin Patullo said, and this is the one thing that I agree with Kevin Patullo on, they put themselves in situations that make Todd Bowles thrive. The situations the Eagles put themselves in were the situations that Todd Bowles thrives in. So you were in a lot of 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations, and he was able to send blitzes or fake blitzes to really keep the Eagles out of motion. But the Eagles had no counter to that. Still, there's somebody else, if it's not the offense, stepping up to make a play to make sure that the Eagles win. You go back to the first Super Bowl year with Nick Foles winning it and Carson Wentz getting hurt. That defense stepped up and forced turnovers at pivotal times, the most optimal one being the strip sack of Brandon Graham of Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Then you go back to 3 years ago, when you lost to the Chiefs. That year, the defense was forcing turnovers. Last year, defense forcing turnovers. Offense would make mistakes. Offense would come up, unfortunately, empty. Next thing you know, they get great field position.
Zach Bond gets an interception, right?
Yeah, like for instance, against the Rams, Zach Bond gets the interception against Matt Stafford. They get their only touchdown of the first half. This time around, the Eagles get 2 different shots of life thanks to Jahad Campbell's interception and then the forced fumble as well on Bucky Irving. The defense steps up to make plays and help carry this offense a long portion of the season so far through the first 4 games this year. Jordan Mailata comes out after the game and says, yeah, it's not fun when the defense is out there carrying you or the special teams unit is out there carrying you and setting the tone early with a block punt and a touchdown from Sidney Brown. So there's different things that have happened throughout this season where the offense has sputtered, the defense and special teams has really stepped up. So, yeah, going back to that 7th in the NFL in points scored, that's not just a reflection of your offense. That's a reflection of a complete team that is putting your offense in the best possible position throughout these games to pick up wins. And I know I always go to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts now 18-0 in games, in starts that he has completed. 18-0. Sure, he's got a big hand in that. But so far this season, it's been other people that Jalen Hurts has had to depend on in order to step up and get these victories.
Look at the defense on Sunday. Guys, the 3 and outs were putting that defense back out there. And by the way, they were playing that second half of the game in a convection oven. The cumulative effect of playing in that heat and to be out there like Chip Kelly-esque rotation of 92. I think one time there was 2 minutes and like 21 seconds of recovery time from when they left the field to when they had to get back on the field in that heat.
And you're not talking about clock time. You're talking about just
real time. Real time.
Yeah,
I mean, they had to have people literally holding these. I don't even know whether they go to Amazon and get these shades to give them some shade.
I've never seen that before.
Me neither.
Have you guys ever seen that before?
Temu, you get them at Temu.
Next day delivery.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah, Amazon would have pillars that you could rest it on. Temu,
Temu, the pillars. Some schlub intern coach holding it there, whose arms are probably burning like hell from holding it. But you got to do it for the millionaires. And that defense to go out there repeatedly on short rest in those conditions, like that was to me. That was another thing in my healing that I realized, like, whoa, what that Eagles defense was able to do in that situation is nothing short of remarkable, because those conditions were really tough on it. They were tough on a team that was getting proper rest in between series, and the Eagles in the second half were not getting that.
Mm-hmm. So how do they go 4-0 over the next 4 games and look good in the process? Like, how
they play the Giants twice.
Well, you start this week. You got to take it one at a time too. You start this week with Denver.
Yeah.
We're going to preview Denver a little bit more later on, but it's obviously worth mentioning now. I mean, they're a team that is coming off of obviously a huge win on Monday night, but also before
But a
short
week.
And before that, they're also coming off a week or 2 weeks in a row. I didn't believe this when I heard they're the first team in NFL history to never trail in a game up until the final quarter and lose. Like in back-to-back weeks.
Oh, in back-to-back weeks. Okay.
In back-to-back weeks.
Possible with all these years of football. That's crazy.
I think it's in the maybe the last.
Wow.
Yeah,
both of those games were on the road, at which they are 1-7 in their last road games. 8 road games. 1-7.
Not ideal for them. Yeah. Not ideal for them. But when we look at this team, let's talk about the offense. We can talk about being out of sync. I mentioned in the open there, and you certainly said it as well, Jason. But yeah, Jalen Hurts was not good in that second half. People could bitch and moan about Kevin Patullo all they want. If there's throws there that can be made, he's got to make them. Now, quarterbacks are going to miss throws. Mm-hmm. Now, the deep ball, for instance, to A.J. Brown on the 2nd and 3, he overthrew him, and that's a ball that A.J. Brown could easily take into the end zone. He had the coverage beat. The 3 straight forces, I'll call them, to A.J. Brown on the one possession they had in the fourth quarter with about 12 minutes to go. It was almost like Jalen Hurts was trying to make a point. Like, dude, you're not open. I'm going to keep throwing to you to show you you're not open. Which, again, that's a crazy fantasy, but that's what it was like. It just didn't make any sense to force the ball to A.J. Brown in that regard. Then there was also late in the third quarter, he missed Smitty wide open in the middle of the field and went down the right sideline to A.J. Brown on another ball that was just overthrown. These are throws that we've seen Jalen Hurts make. All these are with clean pockets, and unfortunately, he just wasn't making the plays. So what's the problem? Is it an offensive line not giving him time? A lot of the issue is the offensive line not opening up holes, Jason, for Saquon Barkley. Is it the play call? I think that is a bigger part than people are acknowledging. Because Landon Dickerson usually gets rid of people. Yeah. Something is wrong with him.
They can't run the ball in between the tackles this year. Yeah. That is a huge issue.
And the other teams are doing something to prevent it as well. It's the combo platter, right? Teams are trying to stop it, and the Eagles aren't as good at it. So
you've got an injured Landon Dickerson. Okay, he's not right. Juergens, I don't think, is quite right either. And then on his right, you got Steen, who is their weakest link, if you will, out of the whole offensive line. And then you got Lane Johnson, who's been in and out of a couple of football games.
Yeah, you got Pryor filling in at guard and at tackle on the right side. Now you're going to Fred Johnson, and it's an issue.
Who was good against the Rams, though? I mean, he's stepped up. Yeah.
He was game changing against the Rams. The thing is 1 week we go against the Rams. Jalen Hurts defied Kevin Patullo, went out there.
He went rogue.
He went rogue and he executed, right? And we gave him all these platitudes and everything. But last week, I guess he didn't go rogue. So now it's all Kevin Patullo's fault. It seems contradictory a little bit to me. It's to your point, Mark, the quarterback is the one on the field sometimes that needs to change the plays, kill plays. You saw a ton of kills from Tampa in the game. And Baker Mayfield, he was calling plays off left and right. And that's the job of the quarterback. And for whatever reason, in that second half, Jalen Hurts wasn't good at it. So we can give him all the praise we want when he defies it and it works, and then deflect all the blame when it just doesn't work, period, end of sentence, all we want. Fact of the matter is, he didn't play well in that second half. He didn't manage the game well in that second half. He did not read their defense well in the second half. And the really curious thing is you got to figure out why.
And why the abrupt turn, by the way. Yeah. Nearly perfect in the first half and far from it in the second.
It's crazy. It's so Jekyll and Hyde. That's the thing that drives you the most crazy as a fan. And that's why, that my whole rant about expecting perfection is because one half you see damn near perfection. And then they go away for halftime and, you get to watch Terry and Howie and whatever. And you come back, and it's like a different guy came out of the locker room. And you go, well, what the hell happened? It's crazy.
So what's the answer? I know
we need more data. We need more data to figure it out.
Well, here's a couple of theories that are out there, and we'll get into this more maybe in the next segment as well. But you're talking about 13 personnel. You're talking about 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 3 tight ends, all that, 1 running back in both those. Is there too much bunch formation? Is there too much tight formation? Kevin Patullo was asked about that a couple of weeks ago when he talked about the versatility you can actually get from that. I don't know. I think that just puts more people at the line that can stop Saquon Barkley, or more people in the box that aren't even trying to play in the box. They have to be there to cover their guy, and they're now there to cover Saquon Barkley. So, look, I don't think your offensive line is going to get healthy overnight. That is a problem. Tyler Steen, for as good as he might play, it's no matter what, it's still a huge drop off from what Mekhi Becton was doing last year, unfortunately. So that's another thing you got to keep in mind as well. And then, Harry, to your Landon Dickerson, you can't tell me worth anything is 100% healthy this year.
No way. His back has got to be an issue.
Yeah, he's not chucking guys like he would chuck guys before, right?
Yeah.
What was it the Eagles game I was watching where the guy just swiped him by? Was that in the Eagles game where he swiped and then got in the play in the backfield? Maybe that what?
Well, I know of one play that definitely happened where Landon sealed off his block, but had an opportunity to just eliminate the guy, pancake the guy, has him on his blocking him on the side, and I'm waiting, and Saquon's running to his side, running guard between guard and tackle. He's running to that side, running to that hole. The hole's there, and then the guy that Landon Dickerson is blocking, he lets him out of the block, doesn't get rid of him.
He shed it.
And then he ends up he makes the tackle upfield on Saquon for only like a 2 or 3 yard gain. Normally, that's a one move from Saquon and he's gone.
Yeah.
So that you're literally talking about the difference in a 3-yard run versus potentially his first 20-plus yard run of the season. You're talking about a situation where if he gets rid of that block, if he gets rid of that guy, that it might have been Levante David, I can't be sure. Coming in, Landon Dickerson knocks him on his ass. Next thing you know, Saquon makes one move and he's in the house. Yep. Like, it's literally that short of a distance, that small a window that you have to make a play that could be the difference between a home run and another 3-yard gain.
We have no home runs yet.
No.
And it's last year at this point in time they were 2-2, and I think we had a couple of home runs.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God,
yeah.
Because in the wins, Harry, he had a couple of huge second half runs, like 65, 70-yard run.
Yeah, it's really strange. I mean,
I'm waiting for I can't take the Eagles offense going away and the Phillies offense going away like it does in the postseason. I can't take it with 2 teams, boys.
Get ready for that.
I might need a towel. I might need to read a towel in a jacuzzi, a hot tub.
Is it better to have had offense and have it go away, or
I'd rather never have it at all,
or never have it at all, like the Flyers?
Know what to expect,
right? But here's the thing. Remember on the post game, Jason, I gave Kevin Patullo all this credit because we finally saw something innovative. They ran a tush push and ran an option play off of it, and now I come to find that play was in the works for 4 years. It was always there. He just chose to use it. So he didn't design it. He didn't come up with it. I'm trying to give this guy credit.
And I'm going, how the hell did that take 4 years in development?
But I mean, it was there for 4 years, in other words. Like, they had it. They just didn't use it.
They haven't actually had optioned out of it a couple of times over the last couple of years, but very rarely. Yeah. In that situation, it was very pronounced because it was on the goal line. But, whose play design was the shuttle pass to Goddard? Like that.
That's an old Andy Reid play.
Yeah. Did they find an old binder?
Did they find an old binder? Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that, Harry, because I remember Reid doing that in Kansas City and thinking, where the hell was that here in Philly?
Right.
Like, that's the most creative
to Travis
thing
Kelce. To Travis Kelce. Yeah.
And then you see that little tush push shovel / toss, little flip play there to Dallas Goedert for the first touchdown. And then you see a play action shovel pass to Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
right.
Now the fact that we're like, oh my God, a shovel pass. How is it possible? My mind is blown. Shows you how bad it's been.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay.
I remember Roger Staubach doing that back in the 70s.
Yes.
Okay. That's the first time I ever saw it.
Yeah. Jimmy Carter was the president.
He was.
The first time we saw that.
He was.
Yes. The peanut farmer, Harry.
Yes. From Plains, Georgia.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. His brother Billy was a kind of a whack job. I drank the Billy beer There was a beer named after him, Billy Carter's beer. And I had a can of it in my beer can collection.
Was it
and
made
then
with
drank
peanuts?
it.
Remember those old beer can collections?
Yeah, yeah.
Folks, if you're watching and listening right now, no stone left unturned.
No.
On the squad show.
No.
When we come back, who do we got here? I'm sorry, I totally forgot our
We got
order here.
FanDuel.
You guys, is that me?
Yeah,
That's you.
I'm going to blow you away with this, boys. You just wait. Coming up, Kevin Patullo talks identity.
Oh,
He doesn't even know what that is. I'll tell you why I hate this conversation a little bit later. Vic Fangio talks about what he liked about Keele Ringo. Believe it or not, there was things he found to like about Keele Ringo. And then also,
we'll
talk about how about that? And then we also got Nakobe Dean returning. His practice window is opened up. And then we'll also talk Eagles Broncos for this week and all that more when we return. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. And yeah, that's right. I want to talk to you about FanDuel and how amazing FanDuel is. You guys taking advantage of all FanDuel has to offer? Well, if not, you should be. This NFL season, FanDuel has a great offer that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Just go to FanDuel.com to get started and download the FanDuel app. I love using FanDuel because it gives you so many different ways to play. You could build parlays. You could also have player props and also follow the live lines during the games. It makes watching football even more exciting. I got something riding in on this game coming up against the Broncos. The Eagles-Broncos this weekend at 1. Looking forward to that. Whether you're a casual fan or love diving in the stats, FanDuel has everything covered, and it makes every game day experience that much more exciting. So what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel app and go into FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Place your first $5 bet for new customers, and if it hits, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Visit FanDuel.com to get started and download the FanDuel app today at FanDuel.com. Oh, yeah, that's right. FanDuel. Make sure you guys indulge. Let me just.
I
gotta make a play on this baseball game coming up here too.
Oh yeah, what are you liking?
Well, I gotta check. I take a little player prop, a little pitcher strikeout prop or something yesterday. I got Scooble. I had it plus over 7.5 strikeouts. I should have taken it at over 12. You had like 13 or 14. The plus odds would have been incredible.
Yeah, that leg kick was a little extra higher yesterday in the playoffs. Yeah. Notice that?
Absolutely.
He was what do they call the Rockets? He was a Rocket yesterday. How high that was. He was a Rocket throwing rockets. Huh? All right, sorry. All right, so I'll show myself.
I'll be on the massage table in about an hour's time.
Well, what is this? So you're taking saunas and steams?
Harry, you got to take your wellness very serious.
Are you on a couples retreat? What's going on?
Yeah, like where are you right now?
Yeah, a couple of students I'm with right now.
Yeah.
My idea of a couples retreat.
Let me ask you boys this. I don't like talking about identity. I feel like that is such a, I don't know, I maybe just too cliche or whatever. The best brand of football I've seen from the Eagles, the best I see the Eagles in my lifetime has been when they're really chameleons more so than an identity. Like, oh, we commit to this and this is what we are, like that kind of thing. I don't really subscribe to that like a lot of other people because, again, the best brand of football I've seen from the Eagles is when they adapt in every single game. Yeah, sure, they might have bread and butter plays, but when I find the Eagles to be at their best, they're a chameleon. And the only identity that truly matters is that they're winners. That's why I don't really subscribe so much to what's their identity? When they're a struggling team, not 4-0, but when they're a struggling team, sure, you might say, well, what's their identity? But a team like this, they know what they are. They know what they could do well. But I feel so many things are going wrong for them right now. It's tough to find that general, oh, they're a running team, they're a passing team, they're a knockdown, drag-out defense that'll beat you up, that kind of thing. Does the identity, Jason, of the Eagles, is that something that you look at and go, man, well, who are they? What do they do? What are they doing? Is that something that you spend time trying to crack the code of?
Well, I think identity is really important. But there's different elements of identity. I think.
Okay.
Number one, you have to have organizational identity, which is like I look at a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've always had an organizational identity. They draft you. If you don't fit into the Steelers' way, bye-bye, right? It's pretty cut and dry. And the Eagles' identity has become that of an expectation to carry yourself like a pro. This is how we do things here. We're not 5 minutes early is being on time for a meeting.
Right.
Those kind of things. As far as this particular football team, they have yet to develop an identity other than the identity of inconsistency. Because identity, you can't just decide what it's going to be. It has to organically happen to be that way. So where last year they were this team that was so good up front on both sides of the ball that they were going to dictate the terms and wear you down up front throughout a game no matter what, which is why in the second half of games we saw home runs from Saquon Barkley, these long 12.5-minute drives that would steal the opposition's soul. They were a team that was going to just wear you down, and that was their identity. We've got depth, we're going to wear you down up front, and we're going to eventually bleed you out. This team hasn't developed that.
They don't do
identity.
that this year.
They haven't seemed capable of doing it, not only at really key times like in the beginning of a second half or late in the game when you should be wearing another team out, but at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know what their identity is. Right now it's inconsistency, but I don't know what it's going to become as we go into the second.
I mean, Saquon Barkley's averaging 3 yards a carry. That's
it's
not
concerning.
an identity. Yeah, no. That's not an identity.
It's an identity. It's just not a positive.
Well, right. But that's not what they were last year.
Yeah,
last year, you're right. It was about an offensive line that controlled the football game, and the best running back was just running wild. I mean, that was their identity. They got none of that thus far this year. Yet they're winning games.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, are we going to eventually go back and say, all those times we said, yet they're winning games, we should have known? You know what I mean? Kind of like we did in 23.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern, and that's why I always say when their identity is, we find a way to win, I'm like, that's not a good one. That's not a good identity. That's the bare minimum, really. I mean, look,
it's not sustainable,
right? But yes, and winning is all that matters, is what people will go to,
right?
But think of the Kansas City Chiefs last year; they were eking out wins left and right. They were never in control of the game. Then their day of reckoning came, as I like to describe it. Well, the Eagles in 2022. They were 10-1 or something like that, and then all of a sudden, including the playoffs, they go, and then they go 1-6. They go 1-6, I think, in their last 7 games, including the playoffs. And it was like their day of reckoning was coming, where they weren't putting teams away, they weren't playing 4 quarters of football, they were maybe at best playing 3 quarters of football. That day of reckoning is coming for those teams that just don't control games from start to finish. The year I go back to this all the time, and I know point differential certainly isn't everything, but I do think that it does give you hints as to what a team is. A perfect example of that actually is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were a +6 point differential going up against the Eagles. The Eagles were a +14. You're talking about 2 3-0 teams going into last weekend. So it shows you that it's going to be a close one.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, finish up there.
So when it comes to the identity, you look at the Eagles in their Super Bowl trip against the Chiefs the first time around, they won 6 games by 10 or more points.
Mm-hmm.
The find a way to win year, they won 2 games by 10 or more points. Last year, I think it was back to 6. So it shows that if you get in control of these games, it shows that when you get into the playoffs, you can start blowing teams out and show that you can control those games from start to finish. That's why you got the blowout against Washington and obviously the blowout against the Chiefs as well in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they had better figure out whatever this identity for the 2025 version is pretty quickly, because you got Denver at home this week, you're favored. Then you have the Giants in 2 of the next 3 weeks, and a bad Minnesota team that really is not very good right now on the road. Then you have the bye, but then you have Green Bay, Detroit, Dallas right after the bye, and that's at Dallas this time. And I know Dallas isn't great, but it's a division game, and it'd be on the road. It would be revenge. So they had better figure out in these next 4 weeks what team they are. And Patullo, after listening to him yesterday, he has no idea. And that's what really shocked me with the way he answered that question, that he's still – this is not a word-for-word quote, but he said he was asked about by one of the reporters about pushing buttons when the team needs a jump or something like that. It was something to that effect, as far as you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And his answer was something about he's still finding what buttons to push. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, we're 4 games in. You got basically the same team on offense. I don't understand what this. I don't understand what's going on at all offensively. I listened to that.
And it's not
yesterday.
your first day.
You're right.
This isn't your first day on the job.
There's certain things you just don't say publicly too.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
no, that's true.
like you can go, like you can walk down the hallway to the mess hall with Howie and Vic Fangio and say, I have no idea what the hell our identity is here. Like, we're really inconsistent. This team needs to develop an identity. Like, you can do that, but when the assembled media is there, you don't go, I don't have a clue. You sound like a boob. You know what I mean?
Here's the question.
Like, you don't have a thumb on your football team.
Oh, we got it?
Yeah, it was from Jeff McClain. Through a quarter of the season, what would you say is your offensive identity? That was the question.
Okay.
And it's like, I think similar to last year, early in the season, you're trying to figure it out. Great. Like, here's what I don't like. Because earlier he's asked about A.J. Brown. And it's funny how Nick Sirianni, he has a great relationship with A.J. Brown. Kevin Patullo has got a great relationship with A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown's posting about how if you're not being heard, walk away. Like, cool. So everyone's got a great relationship with A.J. Brown, yet when it comes to figuring out an identity, it's like, oh, yeah, we don't know. What? Like, you've been working with AJ, been working with Devontae Smith. You've been here. Now the problem that a lot of people, saw going into this, wait, another in-house hire? Not like this isn't on-the-job training when you have a Super Bowl caliber roster.
Right.
This isn't like let's break somebody in. No, this is get somebody in here who knows what the hell they're doing.
Now, do you have the breakdown of the press conference in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. There was also a question about A.J. Brown seemingly running the same route all the time, and what was his answer to that? It was
along the lines of, I'll paraphrase right now before I find the quote, but it was around the same line of, he's been doing a lot of different things this year. There's been a lot of focus on the kind of routes A.J. Brown has run this year. Are you using him differently than you have in the past? And do you agree with some of the criticism that he's running the same route a lot? That was Elliott Shore-Parks asking the question. And his response was, I think at times, if you look through the first 4 games, he's been doing some different stuff. Sometimes we've talked about it before. Sometimes the ball finds him, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, so that's not an answer.
It's not an answer.
That's
and there's a lot of.
What does that even mean?
Yeah.
I'll say this from when I heard Kevin Patullo's press conference in training camp, I went, well, he's got the saying a lot without saying much thing down. Like, not as good as Nick Sirianni's got it, but he's on his way. Yeah. Like you're not going to get an answer. And my ultimate problem is when you start talking about a guy running the same route and he's got 2 routes, like the go ball and the slant.
The slant.
Okay, if he's open, then I don't give a damn about what his route is.
Right.
And in some of these situations, he's open. Like, here's an example. A lot of people want to scream and yell about the first pitch. Don't swing at the first pitch in baseball. What are you doing swinging at the first pitch? Okay, yeah, so there's certain times where you realize a pitcher's lost his arm slot. Yeah, maybe let him throw a couple of more outside the zone. Maybe you'll get one you can really groove. But it's not an all-the-time thing that you don't swing at the first pitch.
Unless you're Castellanos.
Unless you're Castellanos, then it's just all the time, no matter what. But here's the thing. When anyone swings at a first pitch because they're thinking first pitch fastball, let me jump on it. When nobody bitches and moans when it's a home run or it's a double in the gap because you did your homework. You realize in this situation, he's going to give me a first pitch fastball.
It might be the only good pitch he sees.
Exactly.
In the bat. Yeah.
Exactly. So no one ever bitches and moans about route running, route trees, play formation, play calling when it works.
Right.
Like there's sometimes you want to bitch and moan about a 3rd and 10 and you run the halfback draw, by all means, red carpet to critique that and complain about that because that a lot of times is dumb. But when Jalen Hurts is overthrowing A.J. Brown down the sideline on 2 different occasions, or Jalen Hurts is literally forcing it to A.J. Brown on 3 straight plays in the 4th quarter, or you have a 3rd and 2 situation and you force it to A.J. Brown when to your left you have a wide open Jahan Dotson. Harry, you'll love this. A wide open Jahan Dotson with 10 yards of cushion. 10 yards of cushion on a 2-yard play you need for a first down. Mm-hmm. That's not play calling. That's decisions by your quarterback.
By the quarterback.
By the way, I applaud for his pre-snap reads, But when they're not there, then you got to call them out on it. And they weren't there, unfortunately, in the second half against the Buccaneers.
Can I give you a side-by-side comparison of last year versus this year through 4 games?
Oh,
Of
go
who?
for it.
The Eagles.
The whole
The
team.
Eagles versus the Eagles?
The Eagles to the Eagles.
Okay.
Now, we know the record was 2-2 to 4-0.
Right.
Now, last year, through the first 4 games, and they were 2-2. They played their first 2 games at home, second 2 games on the road. The Eagles last year scored 86 points in their first 4 games. This year, they have scored 108 points through their first 4 games. Their completion percentage last year through 4 games was 68.2. This year, 69.3.
Nice.
Rushing yards per game in the first 4 games last year, they averaged 5 yards a carry. They rushed for 615 yards in the first 4 games. This year, they've rushed for 454 yards and a 3.5 average.
Right.
They have 5 touchdowns this year through the air. Last year, they had 4 touchdowns through the air. So the numbers are pretty close to what they were last year. But again, it's the optic element of it's been everything or nothing with this year's Eagles team. And there was some of that last year, but we don't remember it so much because of what happened after the first 4 games last year.
Well, yeah. But they also weren't getting crazy plays from their special teams and their defense, in key moments like coming up with the fumble in the Dallas game, the interception.
Which is
at the
the difference
goal
in
line.
score.
That's the difference in these games.
Yeah,
Saquon's drop against the Falcons. He
Right.
catches
That was
game over.
He would've walked
that
in,
was
right?
a win. That would have been a win. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the difference between the 86 points and being 2-2 last year versus this year, the total points of 108 and being 4-0.
They could easily be 2-2 this year too.
Yeah, and you can make the case. They opened up last year in Brazil with Green Bay. They got the 34-29 win. They lost to Atlanta 22-21.
Saquon dropped the ball.
Yep. They beat New Orleans,
who stunk.
15-12. They squeaked by on the road, and then they lost to Tampa 33-16
in Tampa.
Yeah. And this year,
with no receivers in that game, they had their 2 top receivers.
Harris,
AJ Brown, and Smith are out of that game. I don't know if Goddard was in that or not. I don't remember.
He was.
But this year, you could make the case that the schedule's been tougher. Divisional matchup against Dallas with a healthy Dak Prescott and without Jalen Carter. A Super Bowl rematch at Arrowhead, which you went in there and beat them. Then the Rams, a team that you had to beat on your way to the Super Bowl, and Tampa in 112-degree heat.
Another playoff team. Yeah.
And an undefeated Tampa team at the time. And you come out with a win. So,
we go back to encouraged.
The expectation of perfection.
Mm-hmm. We're very spoiled all of a sudden in Philadelphia.
Well,
we need them to win 35-0 every game.
Here's the thing, though. Yeah, I get all that, and it's funny and it's true. But this is not a team that's looking to just make the playoffs. This is a team that the fan base has the expectation, and so does the team, so do the coaches, so does the owner, of going to the final game and having a chance to win it. And when you see things like this, these little weird ways that they're winning, it doesn't seem sustainable over the course of an NFL season.
But Harry,
now, over the next 4 weeks, it might, because they're playing the Giants twice, and Minnesota's not very good. But, when you start looking at playing big teams in January, it had better be at home, number one. So you got to win those games against Green Bay, Detroit. You won a big one against Los Angeles, and Tampa, which were conference games that can come in handy for home field throughout in the playoffs. Those were huge.
And Dallas.
Well, Dallas ain't making the playoffs.
No, but it's a conference win still. It's a division and conference win. But the thing is, like, Harry, you've talked about this tons. In today's NFL, with the way nobody plays in preseason, the first month of the season is diet NFL football.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's basically preseason.
You know that the 2 Monday night games that I didn't watch, by the way, had 38 accepted penalties.
That's insane.
Combined. 38.
And you wonder why you're not watching.
Right. And the Jets
are you
turned
watching
the ball
to
over
watch
3
guys throw
times.
laundry?
No.
You can do that. The Lima can throw laundry.
No, I do the laundry.
Is that right, Harry?
Yeah. Did it yesterday. I do laundry.
Laundry for two is nothing.
Yeah. You should see how many.
With laundry
You should see how many golf clothes I got to hang up.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, from my wife.
Try having 3 kids.
What a cross to bear.
And my wife wears 7 outfits a day for some reason. I don't know why.
7 outfits. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know why. It's like 4 of them are pajamas. I'm like, what's going on? She wears 4 different sets of pajamas and for some reason uses 4 different cups for coffee. Like every time she gets a coffee, it's a different cup. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Thinks she lives in a
hotel.
hotel.
I need my breakfast gown.
Yeah.
I need my breakfast gown now.
Yeah, this isn't
now it's time for my brunch. My
My
brunch attire. Don't forget my dinner. All right.
Yep.
When we come back, some conversation about the defense. Vic Fangio and Keele Ringo. Nakobe Dean. Practice window's open. Talk about that when we return. I believe we have Harry Mays coming up here, ladies and gentlemen. Very excited about this. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got to tell you about Mazda. Mazda, they craft cars for those who do more than simply want to move. And when I move, you move. Mazda, they're going to deliver confidence with every ride with more IIHS Top Safety Pick awards than anybody else as of August of 2025. From footwork to breath work, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda brings this same intention of how we craft every model. You can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Nappa leather upholstery. How about that? You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from smooth handling to intuitive controls. So like our players, we sweat every detail here at Mazda, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved.
And welcome back to Locked On Eagles Squad Show. Jason Machias will be back with us in just 1 second. Harry, I know you wanted to get into this, but Nakobe Dean is being taken off IR.
Yeah.
The practice window has been open. Vic Fangio spoke earlier in the week, yesterday, as a matter of fact, about not moving Jihad Campbell to the edge, like some people thought was possible. What do you do? Jihad Campbell playing at a high level, Nakobe Dean playing at a high level last year as well. What do you think the call is here defensively when it comes to getting Nakobe Dean back involved in this defense?
I don't know. I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I tell you, it's a good problem to have, because you got 2 linebackers on the field in Bond and Campbell, the rookie, who's just playing just great football. I mean, we knew he was going to be good, and we knew that the Eagles got, sort of a gift handed to him with that injury where he was able to sort of fall down the board a bit to where the Eagles were able to get him. But I don't know that anybody saw him playing this well through 4 games. I know I didn't. But now you bring in Nakobe Dean back, who, by the way, last year, he had an interception, he had 4 pass defended, forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 sacks, 9 TFLs, and 80 solo tackles. That guy made an impact on a very good defense, and I'm gonna leave it to my old sage genius coordinator to figure out when and where to sort of put him in there. And, he's probably going to work him in slow, and, it's not going to be something. I think they'll probably try to have him fully geared up by the bye week. They'll use these next 4 games, 3 or 4 games, to sort of figure out when and where he fits best, and certain different packages and everything. And I look for Nakobe to make a real impact from the bye week on for the rest of the season.
I would 100% agree with that. I think this is going to be a gradual thing. I don't think you're going to see Nakobe Dean come out there and play like 70% of the snaps or anything like that just to get his feet wet. Like, I don't think that's happening. I think this is going to be a 20 to 30% of the snaps type of thing for him getting integrated in this defense again. And the other thing is, rookie or not a rookie, this guy's playing well. Jihad Campbell's not, he is playing well. He's not leaving the field a whole hell of a lot abruptly. And I do like the idea, especially with Nolan Smith being out, not every single play, not officially moving his position, but put him in that old role of predator, of going after the quarterback, going after the ball carrier, because he's quick enough to do it. He's got good enough instincts to do it. You could also use Nakobe Dean similarly as well, with your edge rushers being banged up and, quite frankly, not being productive, bottom line. Yeah. So I'd love to see Nakobe Dean on the football field, maybe even at the same time as Jihad Campbell. Because one of the things I am seeing is Jihad Campbell's just a flat-out playmaker. Like, Jihad Campbell goes out there and he makes play. Now, again,
he's always around the ball. He's always around the ball.
It's great. And Look, I don't think he got credit, which is unfortunate for the forced fumble on Bucky Irving against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But if he doesn't come in and make that play, that ball's not coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Jalix Hunt, great job to him. Credit to him for having him wrapped up. I think he got credit for the forced fumble, and Jahad Campbell did not. But if Campbell doesn't come in, that ball's not loose. Jahad Campbell being in the right place, right time on that interception in the end zone by Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
That's, again, just him being in the right place. What really stood out to me, just to go into that play for a second, that play happened. Talk about guys stepping up. That play happened because 3 different guys did their job in particular better than everybody else. One was Jalen Carter getting into the backfield, forcing Baker Mayfield to scramble out to his right.
Yep.
Then you also have, which, by the way, should be an easier throw for him because that's his throwing side. And then you have Reed Blankenship come in and just get his fingertips on that ball enough to make it a dead duck in the air. And I can't remember who it was. I want to say it was Shepard that would have been there in the corner of the end zone if it's a good throw.
I believe it was.
And it was tipped.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard. And then it comes down into Jahad Campbell's hand. Again, right place, right time around the football. I ain't taking that off the field. But then there's the other side of this. Do you need the experience of Nakobe Dean to make everything else go right? Because let's also not forget, he was a green dot guy last year. So he was calling plays. He was being a general. You see him on the sideline despite being on IR this year. You see him on the sideline even in training camp being a more of a general, a leader, just being there to answer questions for guys. Jahad Campbell sung his praises during training camp, just talking about Nakobe Dean helping break everything down for a rookie so that he understands what he has to do out there. There is a mental aspect of this game, as well as obviously a physical aspect of this game, that Nakobe Dean does very, very well. I'd like to see it come out, maybe more of an edge rusher role. Maybe he spells Jahad Campbell at times. But the gradual work in, I think, has to happen to the point where you get him reps, if not to help your depth throughout the season as well.
No doubt. Reed Blankenship trims his fingernails before that game. It's a touchdown. Like, think about it. You know, like if on the right there, he's a little nervous and starts biting his nails.
Yeah,
that's a touchdown.
But that's all, but it's all effort plays, and that's one thing you really see consistently out of this defense is real effort. And you know, I know they claim they didn't tackle as well as they typically do in the second half of that football game, but they have been a good tackling team on defense thus far this season. But it's a lot of effort, man. You're seeing it from everybody.
Harry, we talked about it last year. I remember that swarming mentality where they would get a guy in the flat and there'd be one guy there to try to make the, but there was an army behind them at all. Like their positional play and support is so impressive to me because they always have, the lead tackler on the outside, like a Cooper DeJean, who is, by the way, a really good tackler. And then even if, as soon as he gets a hand on a guy, there's 4 other guys coming in to envelop
What's
the
that
guy.
Sound there, John Madden?
But that's awesome.
Boom.
But I think that's also demoralizing to an offense. Like, we got our guy in space. Oh my God, look what's over there. You know, it's like a swarm of eagles. Let me ask you this, because like you mentioned Campbell, and we talk about DeJean, we talk about like Quinyon Mitchell, the defensive player of the week. We talk about so many, and there's so many of these young guys. Like, if I'm an Eagle fan, like I am really like, when you're buying a jersey of a player, you want it to be an investment that's got some longevity to it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what jersey to get because there's so many good young players and guys that are like Campbell that are like really likable. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like
Mitchell.
It's like to have, like when Asante Samuel was here, like that was a cool jersey because Asante was cool, right?
Right.
Or Sheldon Brown with the mask and all that, or Nito, the whole thing, right? What jersey do you get now? You remember when they used to do the Lido, right?
Yeah.
It's the Lido Shuffle.
Yeah. It's exactly right.
If it's for my kid, my kids, the jersey.
You got a Paisan?
A Big Dom jersey. I'm buying a Big Dom. Big Dom tracksuit. Yeah, exactly. A Big Dom tracksuit. No, it's probably either Hurts, Quinyon, or Cooper DeJean. Those are probably the 3 I'm going.
What about Saquon? Like,
He won't be here long enough.
He won't be here that long.
Yeah, the running back one doesn't last as long.
Right,
but
right.
that's one that, because he set a record, an Eagle record.
And we know
for
A.J.
last
Brown's probably gone too.
Yeah, but that's cool. A.J. Brown's defiant. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
he's rebellious.
yeah, like
not buying that for my kids.
Ricky Waters jersey right now. It's kind of cool.
For
Keith
who, for
Byers
what?
jersey, kind of cool.
For what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a great player, though.
My personal rule, I think I've told you this. I won't buy it. Like, for me personally, I won't buy a jersey of anyone I'm older than. Like, that's my rule. Like,
well,
all
that
my
rules
jerseys
me
are.
out.
Well, you are.
I
You're
ain't getting no
entering a
jerseys.
territory that you ain't gonna have no jerseys, Holmes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why all mine are
Welcome to the
retros.
party.
Yeah.
That's why I have a Pete Incaviglia jersey. That's why I have a Randall Cunningham jersey. That's it.
Yeah. Maybe you go old retro, like a Clyde
Way old.
Simmons would be cool. Like
There you
Clyde Simmons would be real cool.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be a good matchup, though, this week, though.
It is.
I'm looking forward to it.
The Broncos, they lead the
go ahead.
league in sacks as a defense with 15 thus far.
One of the
And
best
they're only
defenses in the
allowing
NFL.
16.8 points per game. Now, granted, they haven't played the schedule that the Eagles have. They've given up a lot of field goals, not a lot of touchdowns. So it's going to be
Let's get into that. We got one more
Kevin
break
Patullo.
here. Let's get into that coming up next. We'll also get into this Fangio Ringo thing. Jason Martinez will take it away just after this. This is Locked On Eagle Squad Show.
All right, let me tell you about Monarch Money. Everybody loves money. It's what we do. That's why we get out of bed in the morning, to make money, for goodness sake. Most people, you can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. You're almost basically, dare I say, losing money, like literally losing money. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life into one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. That is fantastic. So you're not going to leave money somewhere. You're not going to. It's not like dropping a $20 bill. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all of your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. I know that, hey, spreadsheets, not my thing. Visual, that helps. That's easy. You can have, sometimes you have multiple subscriptions, whether it's to Disney Plus or Netflix, whatever it is. Link all your accounts to Monarch, and you can find those redundant subscriptions that you're just wasting money on. Canceling those alone can save you money every month. You know, one person in the family orders up HBO Max, somebody else orders it. And now you got 2 subscriptions. Like, what are you doing? Monarch makes it simple to review your finances with your partner, your family. We can both see budgets, goals, spending activity all in one place. You can realize I'm spending too much money here. I got to cut back. And you can find a way to save some money as well. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. Again, that's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com, and use that code LOCKEDONNFL.
All right. Keele Ringo. Vic Fangio liked what he saw. Jason, did you like anything you saw from Keele Ringo against the Bucs?
I liked elements of what I saw. I don't think he was perfect in the game. I mean, look, Locked On Louie still floating on cloud 9. Luigi's got to the top of the Donkey Kong board here. He's freaking out, going nuts about Keele Ringo.
He feels very vindicated.
He does.
Yes.
He's got a Keele Ringo jersey and a jersey, the whole thing, and probably in his background on Locked On Eagles. Now I have to look tonight. He's probably got a Keele Ringo jersey hanging up or something. But no, I mean, considering what we've seen out of there, Jacorian Bennett and other options, he's been
Dory
the best
Jackson,
one so far. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe been the best one so far.
Well, he's the only one left. He's the only one left.
Last man standing, Harry.
Exactly. Everybody else is hurt.
Yeah,
he's the starter because 2 other guys are not available.
Exactly.
But sometimes you find the right guy that way, right?
Well, sometimes you get your opportunity and you seize it. That is true.
Yeah.
He's going to have to right now, or Howie's going to have to make a move because Jacorian Bennett is down for a while, and Adoree Jackson, I don't know, when he's due or eligible to come back, but he didn't look all that good anyway. So he better seize the opportunity. I mean, you're right. Sometimes you only get that one look. I didn't take a whole lot from Vic Fangio talking about him. I think he's sort of in that mode now where he realizes he's all I got right now, so I got to sort of maybe pump him up a little bit.
Yeah,
I could see that, and it's not really his nature to go crazy in weight to do that. But what he said yesterday, I kind of look at that.
There's a benefit.
He played good. He looked all right. He was like,
you can't deny his existence now.
Right.
Yeah,
he's stuck with him for now.
Yes. Before he denied his existence.
Yeah.
The
issue.
The issue in this game was similar to the issue in preseason against Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, which was he was there to make plays. He didn't make them. Like it's what if you're around the football as a cornerback, that's a good step one. But step two is the play ends if you allow the catch. Mm-hmm. You can't allow, I'm running a basic curl route and all of a sudden I burn it for 50 yards because you were slip sliding along and couldn't make the tackle.
But just look at the other guy. Look at 27. He's always in the right spot. But he doesn't allow the catch.
Yeah. Well, how many times did he get his hand in between the receivers, two hands on Sunday?
Yeah. Quinyon Mitchell. Sorry.
Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah. By the way, NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Is that right?
Yep. I mean, I thought he got away with a lot of PI in this particular game, but I mean, he is a great player.
He got it because of the mic'd up segment that he provided at NFL.com.
Okay.
I want them to die in their own heat, is what he was saying on the sideline.
Is that right?
Like he was relentless. Like, this dude's a gamer. He's on the sideline pumping up his teammates as they're going out there every 48 seconds because the offense is sputtering. I want them to die in their own heat. Yeah. I'm going, dude, I am in on you.
I'm going to be interested to see how the Eagles go about defending this heavy formation that Denver will run, where they bring in the fullback and a sixth offensive lineman, and they just sort of line it up like Jim Harbaugh and just try to run it right down your throat. I'm going to be interested to see that.
Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis going to be big elements this week.
Yeah. The other thing is, you mentioned it earlier. 16.8 points per game?
16.8 they've allowed. Yeah.
All right.
Now, Tennessee, they gave up 4 field goals to Tennessee, and then they totally shut down a bad Cincinnati team because the backup quarterback stinks.
Brown. Small sample size still, but
right. But on that side, on the side of things there, especially when you're talking about sacks, this is not a good week to have a struggling Landon Dickerson or Tyler Steen or banged up Cam Jurgens
or if Lane Johnson goes out of the game for a spell. Yeah.
By the way, he played 75%. That was more than I thought he did, but he played 75% of the snaps against the Buccaneers. Lane Johnson did. That was a lot higher than I thought.
Yeah. I had hoped that his injury was more cramp related than it was shoulder related, but I hope he's just cramping in the heat.
Well, he had a stinger the week before. It was it was kind of a neck thing,
an issue.
Yeah.
Either way, do you guys want to make the Wednesday predictions for Sunday?
Yeah, I'll go first. Harry usually goes first, but I'll give him a little bit of chance to get his thoughts together. I have the Eagles with 28 points in the game.
All right.
And then winning this game, going to 5-0, 28-17.
Wow, 28-17.
That's a beatdown.
Yeah.
Wee bit. Harry?
I'm going to go Eagles 20-17.
Similar to the Tampa or the Kansas City game final.
We are very, very close here, all of us. I think this is. I still think we're going to have a lot left to be desired after this game. I think this is not going to be they figured it out game. 4 games into the season, game number 5, they figured it out. I don't see that one for the Eagles. I still think that they have a ways to go between all the gears starting to matching up right. I see this as a close one, as you guys do. Really, Jason sees an 11-point win, but I have a 24-20 Eagles victory. They improved to 5-0.
Okay,
and that's that.
24-20. Okay.
Did you lose me for a second there?
Well, your signal started to.
All right, so 28-17. 20-17 and 24-20. Okay.
Yeah.
Duly noted. It's been all right. The court stenographer has got it all figured out.
All right.
Fair enough.
That's
Harry Mays. That's Jason
We'll get
Martinez. He's
rubbed
going to have
down.
another towel for you coming up. I'm Mark Farzetta. Louis DiBiase has you covered on this channel each and every day for your Locked On Eagles daily podcast. So make sure you guys check that one out whenever it comes down, I guess.
If you show up on the post-game show wearing nothing but a towel, I'm out.
No, it's
Okay.
again, it's TAO.
I know what it is.
Until
I
then, Jerry,
Harry.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Von Skyver there, 2316 Birds.
There you go.
Birds. Silent Samuel, thank you. Appreciate you guys.
The Eagles
In the
Monk
chat.
Squad Show.
Love you. I know, right? Thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are great. Like and subscribe. This is Locked On Eagles Squad Show. See you guys next week. And hey, these guys, of course, got you covered for the Locked On Eagles postcast following the Eagles' victory over the Broncos. So don't miss that 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. See you guys later. Bye.